Hey guys, I'm here in London. I've got Kip Moore with me today. Kip, good to see you again.
Always good to see you guys, man.
Welcome back to the UK.
It is damn good to be here.
You played at C2C last year, didn't you? And did you really feel like you'd made a mark when you did that performance?
I went home after that performance and told my management. I said something special happened over there. I said I don't know the magnitude of it, but I know that something special happened, particularly with us and our band, and to see what's happened with the sales and without us ever really headlining over here. Um, Now I fully understand the magnitude of the mark that we left.
Were you quite surprised by the reaction of the fans last year?
I'll be honest. I didn't go in with any expectations. I didn't allow myself to think that it was going to be one way or the other. I felt like we were going to take a lot of people by surprise because we do a very rock and roll thing when we play. I didn't know how a lot of people were going to take to that, but I didn't know. I honestly had no idea how people were going to respond to us.
What did you make of the fans over here? Did you find that they were slightly different to back home?
Definitely, they were definitely different here. I'm not going to say one's better than the other. The fans here were very much like the Canadian fans that I'd learned in a sense of the American fans. And this is a generalization. It doesn't mean all fans. This is just kind of overall thing. The fans in the U.S. that are very passionate about us, and when you go and say you go out, you're on the streets or a bar afterwards, and the fans are just talking about what an amazing time the show was and how much fun the show was, which I love. I love the passion behind that. Whereas over here, 75 to 90% of the people that come up to me talk about in depth about the actual music and the lyrical aspect of the songs and what this lyric meant to them, and they've dissected the entire song, which means they've studied the music, which is an interesting thing to me. They've studied the whole entire project, and that's but both fan bases are very passionate about the music. It's just that I feel like there's a different way they look at the music.
Do you find it's a good challenge to come to somewhere like the UK or Australia, like you did
Very,
recently, where you don't know what to expect?
Very much. Like with us coming over here the first time, we feel like we're back at the bottom. We feel like we have to, where we've built such a strong following in the U.S. and such a loyal fan base that we know that when we show up to that show, we know the excitement they already have to see us. Whereas here, everything was the unknown. And when you first walked out, you definitely felt that you were having to win it, and I love that. And it was a more subdued audience than we were used to. So you're questioning yourself on stage whether or not they're enjoying what you're doing, and then you don't find out until after the show when they've picked apart every single thing of your show, and they can tell you all the ins and outs of your songs, and you're looking at that person and you're like, I was looking at you during the show and I couldn't tell if you were hating what I was doing or you were loving it. There was a complete just stoic look. So that part was interesting to me, and that's another dynamic that's different from the US to over here. Was a lot of times I just simply couldn't tell whether or not I was having a connection. But then there were times when I could definitely tell I was.
Let's talk about Wild Ones for a minute. My favourite album of last year. It was absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
From start to finish. Such a well-crafted project.
Thank you.
Honestly,
It's
really,
still
really
a very underground record.
Yeah, it is. And talking about that, it hasn't had the commercial success that Up All Night did. Does that get to you, or is it more important to make something that the fans are going to enjoy?
I'm going to be honest when I say this. Up All Night was truly great to me as a writer. It launched us. It was a true blessing in me and the band's lives. Wild Ones has been more special and gratifying for me as a writer, as an artist, everything, because of the difficulty of the record and the difficulty of knowing that I was making a different record than Up All Night, and having the pushback that I had, and all the people all of a sudden telling me, well, because it didn't sound like the Up All Night record. You can't, and it doesn't sound like anything that's on the radio. What are you doing? You got to go back to doing this or that. And knowing that I felt what I felt about that record and how passionate I was about that record, and then watching it come out and still yet to render a single commercial hit, yet our fan base is doubled and tripled in size solely from this record is a pretty special thing. When we sing That Was Us, which was, was one of those songs that I got a lot of pushback on. It was like, you can't sing about these things. You can't. And to fight for that song, and then to see every night that that's the song that the people are the most passionate about, and through the whole entire show, more than Hey Pretty Girl, more than any of the hits that I've had, that's the song. And so when you see that, and you realize that's what's growing the fan base, that's a damn good feeling. And that's a very, like, it's a very gratifying feeling that I was always respectful to the people that had their opinions, because I know they had my best interest and they wanted the best for me. But at the end of the day, I was very much like, fuck that, I'm doing this my way. And I know who my fans are, and I'm the one that's out there with them every night. Nobody else is. It's me out there in the band. So I knew that in my heart, and I knew what I wanted to say. And so by sticking to that and not worrying about where it was going to take me commercially, that's a beautiful thing to watch.
Saying that, Running for You is climbing the charts slightly.
Slowly
but surely.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but
but
surely.
And that's one of the things is I'm not stubborn and ignorant to a sense of I'm very well aware of how important radio is to guys like me in my career, any musician in a career, because my thing is I try to write from an authentic standpoint and what I truly feel, and I hope that it'll see the commercial success, but I don't chase the commercial success, if that makes sense. You always hope that radio is going to love your song and want to play it, because that just means there's many more people that are going to get a chance to hear your art. So I always hope for that, and there's been times when I've hit the nail on the head with it, and it's worked beautifully in that sense. But it's been a little while since that's worked. So, but I've continued to see the fan base grow underground, and I'd rather have a house that has the most amazing, solid foundation, and people took the time to craft that house to withstand the winds and the rains and the hurricanes. And I'd much rather have that house than to have one that was thrown up really fast. And the minute the first storm comes through, it's fucking washed away, and all the fans are gone and this and that. Like, I'd rather do it the way that we're doing it, and I can finally see that now.
So, Running for You, the new single, why did you choose that one as a single?
Running for You was the only song on this project that was an older song. All these songs were written from the place where I was in my life at that particular moment. Running for You was one of those I came back to. It wasn't originally on this project, and it was one of those that has stood the test of time. So that got twisted in one of my interviews. Somebody said that I said it will stand the test of time. That's never what I said. I said it stood the test of time for me, personally. A song that never grew old with me. When I went back to hear it, it was that rediscovery of just loving that melody. Love that melody. I love the message behind it. I love the selfless nature of it, because that's where it was written from. Was from me being taught by someone what the meaning of that word is, because so often you grow up and you watch people toss around the word love in a reckless manner, and it's a word used to keep people to a level playing field and to keep your insecurities in check, because you don't want to see that person grow, because if that person grows, that might mean that you might not grow together, and it might mean you get left behind. But I just got taught by someone that loved me so much, that was like, I want you to have the world, and that's probably going to mean that I'm not going to be a part of that, but I still want you to have it.
And you've recently talked about a new project you've been working on. So tell us a little bit about that. what we can expect from it?
I'm not going to tell you too much.
That's fine.
I'm gonna try my best, and the great thing is there's a hope that I might be getting it out, fairly soon, and it's definitely going to be. It's definitely not going to be a 3-year wait like the Wild Ones was. But Wild Ones was one of those records that I played probably half of that record live before we ever put it out, and I'm gonna try my best to keep a lot of these songs on the hush and hopefully get it out soon. But I can tell you that I want to continue to always be that person that you just don't know what you're gonna get when I put out a project. There's a lot of artists that I love, but I always know what I'm gonna get when I get that record. I know what they're gonna sing about. I know what it's gonna sound like. I know everything before it comes out. And that's fine, to each his own. For me as a writer, I feel very stagnant doing that, and I've had more fun writing these songs and recording these songs than probably anything I've ever done. This is going to be a very, very good time record. This is going to be, a little more lighthearted than what Wild Ones has been for the most part. But it's where I am in my life right now, and you're going to hear a lot of different musical influences on this record that have inspired me over the years.
I look forward to it. And you're going on tour with Miranda, aren't you, very soon? What are you most looking forward to on that tour?
Man, she's one of those artists that I just admire and respect as a writer and an artist. I love being out with somebody like that I truly just respect their craft so much. And Miranda has always been somebody that stuck to her guns, and she's true to who she is. I love her songs. I genuinely love her songs. Like, I'm looking forward to watching those songs live and watching her do her things. I've never really had a chance to go out with Miranda, so I'm looking forward to learning from somebody that's at the top of a game like that, and how they put their show together, and getting a chance to sing with her and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Last time I saw you was in California last August. It was actually the night that Wild Ones was released, and I couldn't believe I couldn't believe how long you took with the fans, how long you stayed after the show.
It was a long time. Yeah.
Why is it so important to you to do that? Because not everybody does that.
Man, for me it was it wasn't something that I do it a lot of times. It depends on how I feel on stage. I get wiped out, man. We travel so much, and man, I get wiped. And that night, I just I felt this overwhelming thing on stage of just how appreciated we were for being there, and I just wanted to show that back, and I wanted a chance to at least say a hello and a thanks to everybody that comes through, because it means a lot to me. It's definitely not something I can do every night, but it means a lot to me to be able to just say thank you for the people that give me a chance to do what I do. So, because I love this, man. I couldn't. I can be kind of a detriment to myself and a dark soul at times, and I suffer from a lot of different things in that manner. But music is the one constant in my life that brings me so much joy, and I feel like I'm always searching for that joy and that peace. And so whenever I step on stage and have a feeling like I felt that night in London or whatever, it's just my way of trying to say thank you, even though the venue doesn't want me to, because that took probably 3 or 4 hours to get everybody through.
Yeah. Now I've got to ask you this question, because I've had people begging me on Twitter to ask you this. There was that Twitter page that said, if we get 10,000 retweets, will you consider doing an acoustic album? I've had so many people telling me to ask this question.
First off, I said that shit as a joke, and just not thinking anybody was going to get 10,000 retweets. I just kind of just threw out a number and was just like, if you quit freaking asking me about this, maybe get, so now it's, I see everybody saying, all right, when's that acoustic record coming? I'm like, first of all, that shit's not that easy. I can't just tell my label I'm gonna throw together acoustic. It doesn't quite work that way, and I think people think it's a little easier than it is. But what I'm gonna do, and I'm actually already talked with, because of what happened. I think the desire for an acoustic project. I'm going to focus on my full body of work first, and try to get that out soon. People don't understand how quickly we're trying to get a turnaround on this. You know, Wild Ones came out in September, and there's a realistic chance that this could come out, you know, this year. We don't know that, but it would be a beautiful thing if we could. And then after that, the possibility of going in and doing like a 6-song acoustic EP, because I definitely have the catalog for that thing. I've already, over the years, I've always wanted to do an acoustic record, and I've been writing the songs for that would fit the body of an acoustic record. I'm not going to go in and take my songs that it's going to be a whole new batch of songs. But Bob Dylan's possibly my all-time favorite artist of all time, and I definitely have a body of work in that kind of realm too, of those type songs, in that vein. And I've always wanted to do an acoustic record the way his old records were, a folky record. So I don't know when it's going to happen, but I can promise that before my music career is done, there will be an acoustic record.
I'm sure you just made a lot of people very happy with that.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we do a few fan-submitted questions? Because I put it out on Twitter, and we had a massive response.
With me.
Right. Bev Bolton wants to know, Frankie Ballard has recorded Cigarette for his new album. Why didn't that ever make it onto one of your albums?
Bev, because it was a fight tooth and nail for every single freaking song on that record, and I just couldn't fight for one more, man. It was a, that was one of the songs that were kind of like I kind of regret it now, to be honest. We love playing that song live. It's a fun song live, but I just, I knew that it wasn't going to be on this project, which in my mind was like, okay, well that means it's going to be 2 more years until that song gets to see the light of day, and I knew that somebody wanted to record it that I actually like, which is, I dig what Frankie does, and I was just like, you know what, let somebody have a shot with it, let at least give that song a chance to see the light of day.
Yeah. Greta Bielkova asks, are we going to hear any brand new songs from the upcoming project next week?
I'm going to debut a song that nobody's heard on this tour.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Sean Mariah says, what's the hardest thing about being on the road?
For me, what it does to me mentally, that's hard for me to explain to someone, and that's different for each artist. And we've done almost 200 shows a year for 4 years straight, which means that I'm probably on the road for 230 or 40, and I end up doing a different schedule. It's like my band's not even here yet, and we're traveling around, so I do stuff outside of what the band does. So I don't sleep well anyway. I haven't for years. I think I can't shut my mind off, and so being on a bus every single night of my life, pretty much, and you're functioning every single day on about 3 hours of sleep. It ends up really messing with you mentally when you don't sleep. It can really, and I think that's what sent me into a lot of the depressive states that I've hit in. But that's when I write best. So it's kind of a thing where I don't know what kind of writer I'd be if I was always happy. But it really takes its toll on you mentally, and it really neglects other important things in your life. You get very, I'm already like a very scattered person, and with the schedule that I have and the always traveling, I end up not keeping in touch with people that really care a lot, that I care a lot about, and you end up neglecting those relationships and those friendships and those, and it ends up causing turmoil in your personal life, and that's definitely been a problem that I've dealt with, and that's the double-edged sword of this business, and I love it, what I do so much, but it definitely has, my love for this and my quest to be great as a writer and as an artist has definitely caused me to lose a lot of dear things to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Stacey Reen says, all-time favourite song and most meaningful lyrics. It can be two different songs.
For me, personally, my all-time favorite song is Stand By Me, Benny King. To me, it's the most romantic tune ever written. It's the most, you never see people dancing to that in a wedding, and to me, that's the ultimate, like, love song to somebody. The groove, the simplicity of the recording, the way Benny King sings it, everything about that song. I listen to that song, on tour almost every single night before we go out on our bus. After the shows, like, it's just the most special song to me. It's that, I would say that and Simple Man, Leonard Skinner.
Okay. And last one, Paula Brooker. She's asking the question that's on everybody's lips right now. What shampoo and conditioner does Manny the bass player use?
I don't know, but whatever it is, it's heaven sent.
Just put hashtag hair envy.
I mean, freaking just most beautiful creature that's ever been created.
I love that question.
That was. Manny's such a good dude, man. He's one of my dearest friends. I'm very lucky in that sense. I truly, Manny and Dave and Adam and Wiggs, they're some of my closest friends that I have. Period, and it's pretty special that I get to go and play music with those guys every night.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, on that note, we're going to leave it there. We'll see you next week.
All right, man.
Can't wait to
Sure.
see you. Signing out with Kip Moore.